And thank you so much, Kathy. I really appreciate it. I'm actually in my new office, just quite excited today. I have a window. There's like Reed Arena out there. Pretty pumped about it anyway. I'm here at A&M right now. And now, Kathy, I do apologize. I didn't quite know when I was on the schedule. So I do have a research thing that I'm supposed to be doing here in a few minutes. Can
Well,
I
I just
give
had you for
my
a few minutes, so you can
Okay,
share a few
perfect.
minutes. And,
So,
um, uh,
so then the main thing I wanted to share, I'm going to keep it brief then. I'm going to give you guys something. I'm going to make it short and impactful. So this is not something that you're going to need to take notes for the next 30 minutes on. This is something that I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you 5 things in 5 minutes. It's going to help you have a great push. Okay. So get your notes out and don't miss it because we're not going back for it. All right. So, what are the 5 things in 5 minutes that could really be impactful for you as you're going into this SC2. I've worked with lots of representatives over the years. I've helped coach people to have a $100,000 plus push performances, and I've helped coach people to have $10,000 plus performances as well. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of things that are really similar between the person who does 10 grand and the person that does 100 grand. They have some main similarities, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. First thing, we need to write this down. Okay. The first thing you guys to remember is that this is a process where you're going to commit to the action and not emotionally attach to the result. Write that down for me. Commit to the action. Don't emotionally attach to the result. Commit to the action. Don't emotionally attach to the result. That's one of the biggest things I can teach you that's going to help take you where you want to be. Now, this is a thing in life, period. But I think lots of times our emotional state, especially as salespeople in particular, you're going to be forced to have a lot of you're working with people, right? And since we're working with people, a big thing that we're going to need to understand is that we have to have good energy as we're going into these conversations, right? But here's the deal: if you're not having good energy in your conversations, that can kind of start to spiral in another direction as well, in a direction that probably is gonna look like, oh man, I didn't do good and I didn't get the results I wouldn't want, and then I have negative energy, and that gets me another result I don't want, and then it gets me more negative, and there's another result I don't want. And people just live this way sometimes, unfortunately. I've met many that do, and there's been times when I've done this the exact same thing as well. But the important thing I think where we have to switch over mindset wise is that same concept though of getting on a winning streak and getting that momentum created is something where you really want to live and thrive in business. That's the next thing I want to tell you. When it comes to thriving in business, we have to remember that momentum is key. Write that down. Momentum is key. And in business, we're always trying to, make momentum happen. How do you make momentum happen, by the way? Write this one down. So momentum is key, but how do you make momentum? New creates momentum. There's different ways we can do it, but that's the easiest one I can teach someone who's relatively new in their business career like you guys. Is I need to remember that new creates momentum. So momentum is key, but how do you create momentum? New, new creates momentum, and that can be anything when we look at businesses. That can be new leads will create momentum. A new sale will create a momentum. As you guys have probably seen, even in our Cutco businesses, a new training class can create some momentum, right? Getting a new assistant manager on staff can create momentum. Having a new interview and finding someone really cool that you're excited to work with can create momentum. For me, I'm starting a new program, right? And in the sales program here at Texas A&M, they need a new faculty member. I'm going to bring some new ideas, and that newness is going to create some momentum for the program. So we have to remember that momentum is key. New creates momentum, and then how do you sustain that momentum? You sustain that momentum by continuous action and the right type of action. So that's the next thing I want you to write down. Is it's not just about taking. It's not action, it's the right kind of action. Write that down. It's not action, it's the right kind of action. Because remember earlier, I told you the first thing I told you to write down was commit to the action, don't emotionally attach to the result. And then I told you that that momentum is key in business. And then I told you that that how do you create momentum? To create momentum, I told you that new creates momentum. So that's how we can get momentum moving. So that means new leads, new phone calls, new customers. For you guys in your rep business, new customer leads is the main momentum you need. So you need more phone numbers. That's what you're going to do on these appointments. Next thing, then, new creates momentum. And then how do we sustain momentum? The right action, right? So it's not just about action, it's about make the right action. And what is the right action for you? This is the last thing I'm going to teach you for a big push. Write these two things down: dialing and demos. Dialing and demos. Dialing and demos. Dialing the phone, completing demos. Dialing and demos, demos and dialing, dialing and demos, demos and dialing, 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 demos, 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 dialing, demos, demos, dialing. That's all you focus on, period. I didn't say eat. I didn't say cry. I didn't say sleep. I didn't say hydrate. I didn't say take your dog on a walk, right? These are all things that maybe you should probably do, right? Make sure you're hydrated, take your dog for a walk, but those are not what you're focused on. If we focus on anything other than these two things, the people who hit their goals are the people who get really good at locking in on the right action. So lock in on the right action. And what you want to lock in on is dialing the phone and booking demos, dialing in demos. So if you can remember, lock in on the right action. And that action for you in this push is dialing and demos. You'll be there, no problem. And then the next thing, like all the rest of it is just the plans that Kathy and John and Jacob, it's executing your plan. But I promise executing your plan is making more calls, doing more demos. So dialing the phone and doing demos, dialing in demos, demos and dialing, dialing in demos. That's the only thing you focus on for the next 2.5 weeks. You will hit your goal, and I'll be celebrating with you on the lake. And I'm really excited that I got these minutes to talk to you all today. That was my 5 things in 5 minutes. It was 5 things in 7 minutes, but we're going to roll with it. Thank you, Kathy.
Got an applause over here. Thank you. All righty.